So hello, please take a seat. Please take a seat. So welcome to Barcelona. Francesco and I are delighted that we have almost 2,300 people. So these are the two general chairs and the chair of the executive committee of KDD, Wei Wang. Thank you also to Wei on all the help to getting through this stage. So right now we have 2284 registrations, as just yesterday. We will have 3 keynotes, Tuesday to Thursday at 9 a.m., so in the morning. We have last day one panel on generative AI. We have also 8 applied data science invited talks. In the technical problem, we have 411 research track papers and 151 applied data science papers, 30 workshops, 34 tutorials, and 9 special days. So this is thanks to a team of 55 organizing committee members, of course, the KDD exec committee, the great work of executive events, the event planner for this conference, and 133 student volunteers. So you have, I guess, WOBA, so you know where to go for the program. And I hope you like the place. This is the largest place where you can do a conference in Barcelona, and you are a big crowd. This is the full organizing committee, so thanks to all of them. Let's thank you. We had an amazing response from sponsors, more than $300,000, and thanks to Pau, Faisal, Wiji, and Linkfei on achieving that in Europe. So that's really great. Thank you to them. So here I will show the main sponsors. 1 diamond sponsor, Sipu AI, 2 platinum sponsor, Meta and Ant Group. 4 gold sponsors, Apple, Boss, Pinterest, and Bloomberg. Many silver sponsors. You can look at them. I will not read that. And also we have particular sponsors for special days and other things during the program. So I will give you the stage to Francesco.
Thanks. So let's move to the technical program. Ricardo already mentioned KDD will feature 411 research papers and 155 ADS research papers, and we want to thank the PC chairs for both tracks that did a lot of effort and managed brilliantly this very complicated process. So they are Flavio, Danai, and Ravi for the research track, and Rajesh, Claudia, and Shipeng for the ADS track. So let's give them big hands, even if you get your paper rejected. We also have 30 workshops, and they were selected by Jing, Karina, and Francesco. I'm running short on time, so let me move fast. And 34 tutorials, 9 of which are hands-on, and 25 lecture-style tutorial, and they were selected by Key, Neil, and Fabrizio for the hands-on part, Albert, Vagelis, and Alessandra for the lecture-style part. You also know we have 8 special days, which are very interesting events on very specific topics. Finance Day was today, and we have many more on Tuesday, Wednesday, and on Thursday, Generative AI Day. And the 3 keynotes, as Ricardo mentioned, tomorrow morning, Wednesday morning, and Thursday morning in order, Tanya Berger-Wolf, Sanjeev Arora, and Xihong Lin. Also on Thursday afternoon, Ricardo will be moderating the panel, which will be on generative AI. So generative AI, the whole of Thursday, first with the special day, and then the closed panel. And we also have 8 ADS invited talks. I recommend to check the app for the timing and the topics. And those are the 8 invited talks speakers. And now, perfectly in time, I leave the stage to our social media and publicity chairs. Thanks.
So we all know that everyone has a short attention span now. Young researchers probably don't have time to read papers jumping from TikTok to Instagram and YouTube and stuff. That's why we asked every one of you to record short summaries of your videos, 2-minute summaries, and the highest view count videos were assessed by the quality, and we chose 3 winners.
So the third place goes to the team led by Catherine Hanover on their work on normalized graph cuts. And the second place goes to the team led by Hussein Jagieda for their work on multivariate time series forecasting.
And the first place goes to the team of Navid Mohammadi Fumani for the work on enhancing self-supervised EEG representation. I invite Navid here to the stage so that we can give him the certificate and a picture so that we can share it.
And the video
And after, we are all going to see the winning video.
Navid, please come over.
Imagine if we could see inside our minds, understanding our thoughts, feelings, and health like never before. The EEG technology, this is not just a dream, but a reality. EEG is a non-invasive technique that records the brain's electrical activity. Just by placing electrodes on the scalp, we can see our brain in action, revealing important clues about our mental and physical well-being. It's more than just a way to watch what's happening in our brains. It opens doors to better health, helps us find a new way to improve mental well-being, and leads to groundbreaking treatments in many areas of medicine. Here at Monash University, in collaboration with Emotive, our passion drives us toward a bold vision. We are using a large-scale datasets to unlock the mysteries of a brain behavior. Our goal is to better understand the human brain and change the way we interact with it. However, working with the EEG data isn't straightforward. First off, it's really noisy, which means we get a lot of extra signals mixed in with the brain activity. Then there's the fact that everyone's brain is different, and even where we place the electrodes can change the results. And on top of that, we are dealing with the data that comes in a continuous stream, which makes it all the more complex to analyze. That's where EEG-to-Rep steps in. It's a self-supervised representation learning crafted to tackle these challenges. By reconstructing features in the latent space and novel masking strategies, EEG-to-Rep effectively models brain activity and transforms raw EEG into precise and actionable knowledge. What is really impressive about EEG-to-Rep is how well it handles different tasks. This tool excels in real-world applications thanks to its clever design and innovative techniques. It's all about delivering top-notch performance where it matters the most. With EEG-to-Rep, we are pushing the boundaries of what technology can achieve in understanding human mind. We are unlocking the full potential of the EEG data. Join us as we embark on this exciting journey toward the healthier and smarter future.
an awesome video. I'm inviting Tim, the KDD Cup co-chair.
Thank you, Ron. My name is Tim Winninger, a professor at the University of Notre Dame, and I am the chair of the KDD Cup. This year we had several dozen applications for the KDD Cup, was due in January. Of those, we selected 3 competition runners, and in total, there's about $100,000 in awards. The way this works is that the competition will have instructions, a data set, and then they'll compete on accuracy, precision, recall, those types of things. The first, sponsored by Amazon, has 5 different tracks. It's on multitask online shopping for LLMs. You'll see some of the different winners here, but hopefully the overall award winner is here from NVIDIA. Chris, Ivan, Amit, Benedict, Gilberto, and Simon. Are you here? Come on up. No? Oh, here they come. Up next is the Open Academic Graph Challenge. We see there are 3 tracks here. Some of the winners are on the screen, but the overall winner, Meituan by Yang, Haoru, and Xiaojing. Are you here, Meitong? Yep, come on up. Finally, Meta sponsored the comprehensive RAG benchmark challenge. There were 3 tasks, and you can probably guess who the winner is from the leaderboard here. It's my pleasure to congratulate and welcome the team from Peking University, Team DB3. Are you here? And next year at KDD, we'll be hosting a KDD Cup again. So if you are interested in sponsoring or organizing a KDD Cup event, please let me know, let the organizers know. Come to us with your interesting ideas, with your challenging problems, and your interesting data sets. So that's all for me. Up next, I'd like to introduce Denai and Claudia to talk about the Best Paper Awards.
All right, so Claudia and I are delighted to be here to announce the winners of the Best Paper Awards for the research track and the applied data science tracks. These awards honor the most outstanding papers from this year's KDD. So the selection was done by the Best Paper Award Committee, which is chaired by Heikki Manila. Unfortunately, he was not able to be here today. And it also consisted of 4 more members, Claudia, Wei, Dino, and myself. We reviewed, ranked, and also deliberated about 20 excellent papers that were nominated by the program chairs with input from different program committee members and especially the senior area chairs. And the selection was based on important criteria, including originality, expected impact, methodology, and clarity of exposition. So now let's move to the two Best Paper Awards for the research track. So the Best Student Paper Award goes to Dataset Regeneration for Sequential Recommendation. If any authors are here, please come to stage. All right, congratulations to the authors. So the 2024 Best Paper Award goes to CAT, Interpretable Concept-Based Taylor Additive Models. The presentation for the previous paper is on Thursday. This one will be on Wednesday, and the morning sessions. So again, if any authors are here, please come join us. Congratulations again. All right.
All right, so that brings us to the best applied paper. The criteria here, obviously it's an outstanding paper, but for the applied track, as it's originally designed to be, really focuses on successful applications that have been deployed. So we are looking for papers that have real-world impact, that are already in use, interesting novel applications, and obviously of outstanding quality. So this year, we selected as the runner-up a really fun application. So if you want to know how people use data science, machine learning on Mars, so here's the paper. So we're very happy to welcome the authors of A Method for Learning High-Resolution Latent Structure of Multi-Scale Measurement Data on Mars to the stage. And now back from Mars down to Earth to a topic and an application that we're probably all quite familiar with. So I'm very happy to announce that the Best Paper Award in the applied track goes to a large group of authors who really changed our all days at LinkedIn on graph neural networks. With that, thank you for participating in the congratulations to our winners, and I'm handing it over to Wei.
Okay, so KDD each year would give an award to a number of categories to recognize the excellent. So the first category of award we're giving out is an Outstanding Dissertation Award. I'm going to invite Nitesh to come on the stage.
Thank you, Wei. So, has been a tradition at KDD that we review an amazing set of dissertations that several of you in the room nominate for your students or students who have recently graduated but meet the criteria, and we determine which are the best dissertations for that year and being honored at KDD. So this year we had, and to do that, we create a team of amazing award committee members. I'm Nitesh Chawla from the University of Notre Dame, and Liman, Yuzhao, Dimitrios, Claudia, Rose, Zaki, and Xiang Liang, all representing, we have the geographical diversity as well as area diversity within our committee to sort of think about as the dissertations are really reflecting different areas. We had 7 excellent nominations, and trust me, it was a tough reviewing process, and we settled on 1 winner and 2 runner-ups. I will announce the 2 runner-ups first, and then the winner of the dissertation award. And these really are, our freshest graduates, so please give them a huge round of applause once they come to receive their awards. So the runner-up I'll announce first is Alex Rodriguez from the University of Michigan. He's currently an assistant professor at the University of Michigan. This is the work that he did at Georgia Tech with his advisor Aditya Prakash. And his work was on AI for data-centric surveillance and forecasting of epidemics. Please. All right. Congratulations, Alex, again. And then the first runner-up is dissertation. Again, it's a very interesting topic on Zinyo Hu from University of California, Los Angeles. His advisor is Yi Sun from UCLA, and currently he's a postdoc at Caltech. And I do see him walking up, so he's here as well. That's excellent. When they weren't even given directions to come up to the stage, they know what they are doing, so they deserve these awards. So his dissertation is on differentiably neural symbolic AI. So again, thank you. Congratulations. And something I should highlight about all these respective dissertations is that while they have done amazing good work and really solid publications, each one of them has found applications in industry through their dissertation effort. And I think that's, and not just one single company, multiple corporations. So those, if you're not using their work, talk to them and give me some good commission for that. So the next one we have, finally, the dissertation award of the best dissertation goes to Yu Meng, whose PhD was at University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, with Jave Han as the advisor. He could not be here due to visa issues. He's currently a professor at the University of Virginia, but Jave would gladly receive the award on his behalf. Please. Something, as data scientists, you may wonder, there's a correlation here. Jave's advisee and grand advisee received dissertation awards because the previous one is a student of Ijo, who was a student of Jave. Again, congratulations, everyone, and thank you. And the dissertation awards session will be tomorrow. See these awesome talks. There's some amazing piece of work here, so please, location 113. No other session matters, only this one. And now I call Jeff Webb.
Hi, I'm Jeff Webb. I had the privilege of being the chair of the Test of Time Award Committee this year. The Test of Time Awards are given to a paper from each of the research and the applied data science tracks from 10 to 12 years ago, so 2012 to 2014. in our case. So I'm very grateful for my very capable committee, Eamon Keogh, Katarina Morik, Irina Shripnek, Hui Zhong and Jiwa Zhou. And the Test of Time Award for Research goes to Deep Walk, Online Learning of Social Representations. I believe all of Brian Perosi, Sami El Refu, and Stephen Scienna are here to receive the award. Please join me in welcoming them to the stage. Congratulations. And Test of Time Award for the Applied Data Science goes to UAir, When Urban Air Quality Inference Meets Big Data, by Yu Zheng, Furui Liu, and Shangping Shi. So after you've been to the PhD award session, you're going to be hungry for more, so you of course come along to the Test of Time award sessions on Wednesday from 4:30 in room 113, where you'll be able to hear about both of these amazing bodies of research and how they've had such significant impact in the decade since they were published. Back to you, Wei.
Thank you. Now the next category of award actually is for recognizing the individual excellence. So we have Innovation Award, Service Award, and the Rising Star Award. The award committee is led by Dr. Johannes Gerke from Microsoft. Unfortunately, he's not able to come to KDD in person this time. And the award committee consists of 4 members. Torsten Jatkin, Vipin Kumar, Jen Pei, and Philip Yu. So the first award we're going to give is the CKDD Rising Star Award. This award is used to recognize junior researchers who have already made fundamental contributions to the field of KDD. And this year, the winner is Professor Jundong Li from University of Virginia. Next award is to recognize an individual who have made excellent service to the field of data mining.
And the award goes to Faisal Farooq.
Last but not least, It's an innovation award. And this award each year actually recognizes individuals who have made outstanding contribution to the research community. And this year,
the award goes to Lisa Getur.
Now, I would like to invite Lisa Getur to give a KDD Innovation Award talk. So Lisa and I have been friends for 20 plus years. So back the time when we were both PhD students in computer science. And if you're talking about doing graphs and the probabilities and ethics and AI, so there's one person immediately came to your mind who is like Lisa Getur, right? So that, and she has made several seminal contributions to this field. And she has also, if you look at her in the website, and then you would realize that she probably have won all the awards that you can imagine. Now this KDD Innovation Award is the last one so far, but I'm not sure. Next year there will be more. So, and I also want to mention that Lisa actually is the very first female who won this award. I'm very proud of her. So without further delay, I'm going to hand it over the stage to Lisa, who's going to share her journey.
Awesome, thank you so much. Wow, what a nice introduction. And until Wade gets it next year. So let me start with a huge thank you. So thank you very much to my nominators. Thank you to the selection committee. And thank you to the KDD community. This is a huge honor, and I'm really touched by it. And so now I'm supposed to give a talk, and I could go through and read off some research results, but instead I thought I'd attempt to make this a little bit more interactive. And so I'm going to start with a question. So what's the best thing about being a researcher? And before I answer it, think about it for yourself. What's your answer? And my answer might end up kind of surprising you and might even seem like a contradiction because I'm a major introvert. But to me, the best thing about being a researcher is people. So it's the community, it's the collaboration, and it's conferences like this. And so of all my collaborations, the ones nearest and dearest to my heart are the ones with my students. I learned so much from them. It's great watching them grow, and without them, the research that I do wouldn't be possible. So in this talk, I'm gonna go through some research themes, and I'm going to continue with highlighting some contradictions. And then, as my students will attest, I love to get advice. So I'm going to be sprinkling in a kind of healthy dose of advice. And the first theme, Wei already mentioned and won't surprise anyone, it's graphs. So graphs are everywhere. There's biological systems, there's ecosystems, there's social systems, there's knowledge graphs. And as a matter of fact, if you look at the invited speakers at the conference, I'm not sure they'll 100% agree with this, but we have Tanya Berger-Wolf tomorrow talking about ecosystem graphs. We have Zhihong Lin talking on Thursday about genomic and health graphs. And I'm not sure Sanjeev Arora will agree with me, but he's talking about going from large language models to models of metacognition, and I'm going to call that knowledge graphs. And of the things that I've worked on, one of the areas that I've worked on a fair bit is these kind of micro-level predictions in graphs. So things like predicting labels of nodes, predicting links or relationships between things, and entity resolution, so figuring out when two nodes are actually referring to the same underlying thing. And my work has always focused on doing this collectively so that there's dependencies between these decisions. And I've worked a lot on these problems in isolation, but really my favorite of these problems is combining all three of them. And fundamentally, that involves some way of propagating similarity. That's not surprising. But in addition, it also, and more importantly, involves propagating dissimilarity, or constraints, or contradictions. And this kind of reasoning is something that I couldn't decide if it was graphs require or graphs enable. I think it does both, relational thinking. And it's worth thinking about for your problems. Is it something that you're already doing? Is it something that you could do if you're not? Could you do more of it? And the first challenge I want to bring up is we, especially computer scientists, typically aren't trained in relational thinking. So we tend to think of predictions as independent, and we often assume kind of a fixed frame of reference so that the graph is finite and immutable. And I'm going to return to this point in a little bit. And the second theme, which you could also think of as a bit of a contradiction, is logic and probability. So we have logic, so some things obey logical rules. Some things you have uncertainty over, and there's probabilistic rules for them. And interestingly enough, I think most people tend to be better at one or the other. And so think about this for yourself. Which are you better at? Or sometimes it's easier to think about someone else. You know, which one are they better or worse at? And so this leads me into a second challenge, which is we really need to teach algorithmic and mathematical literacy so we can recognize when something's a logical problem versus a statistical problem. So we don't want to try and use statistics to solve a logical problem, and we don't want to interpret that a probabilistic statement as a logical implication. And for the past few years, I've been developing and teaching a lower division class in machine learning basics. And one of the challenges is teaching students to recognize the difference between these problems. And even if you go to machine learning researchers, you'll sometimes see them trying to use statistics to solve a logical problem. And, you know, that's just inappropriate and also ineffective. So, but the other of interpreting a probabilistic statement as a logical implication, I think, is even more pernicious because of the number of probabilistic prediction algorithms that are going out in the world, and that we're often applying them in situations where there's real social consequences. So for example, hiring decisions and legal decisions and medical decisions. And so we need to teach people to think critically about statistical inference and the limitations of statistical inference. But going beyond that, most real-world problems are a mix of both of these things, and KDD is based on this. It's based on combining knowledge and data. And my work in this area has been very much about how do you combine logic and probability. And I'm not going to go into the technical details here. If you want, see a keynote that I gave a couple years ago at KDD for that. Recently, there's been a surge of interest in methods that combine neuro and symbolic approaches. So an example is my PhD student, Charles Dickens, defended his thesis less than 2 weeks ago, and it has a nice unifying mathematical framework, and it helps one kind of understand the difference in a variety of approaches. And that's a topic also one of the dissertation awards was on. So this leads to a third challenge. So both or all of these, the statistical, the logical, and the methods, most of the methods that combine them fundamentally rely on a closed world assumption. And that doesn't hold in almost all real world situations. And so that's actually where graphs come in. Graphs are something you can use to expand your context. So the recent work, for example, in retrieval augmented generative models has this flavor. I know there was a workshop in that here. And then my third theme, which I'm going to spend a little bit more time on, is again something you could see as a contradiction or maybe as an oxymoron. So in addition to the machine learning basics course that I've been developing, I've also been teaching a class in ethics and algorithms. And each iteration of it has been very different. And I think the last iteration that I did was the best so far. I had an amazing collection of invited speakers. So I had Ann Washington talking about ethical data science. I had Jerome Lanier talking about why not to believe in AI. Tina Eliassi-Rad talking about complex systems and democracy. And Mehran Sahami talking about the optimization mindset and VC and Silicon Valley culture. And I would love to be able to synthesize all of those. That's not going to happen. Instead, they were all awesome speakers, so I suggest you guys have them as KDD invited talks at some point. The one commonality that they all had was emphasizing this view of not just algorithms, but socio-technical systems. So where you have algorithms interacting with people and society. And this fits with this kind of graph thinking and relational thinking. I want to go a little deeper, though, on some of what Jerome said on artificial intelligence. And I want to cover this because I think it's particularly relevant now to the KDD community. And Michael Jordan said this in like 2018, that data science has been rebranded as AI, and this rebranding is worth some scrutiny. And I have to admit, one of the mistakes that I made early in my career, because I was an engineer, I want to do useful stuff. I said, I want to do useful stuff. If you want to call it AI, I don't care. And I think that this actually is flawed thinking. And I think we have these black boxes that we're labeling as intelligent. And the real danger isn't artificial general intelligence or super intelligence or the singularity. I think the real danger is the undue trust we're putting into limited and flawed systems. And at the heart of the AI endeavor is this notion of agents that maximize expected utility, usually using something like reinforcement learning. And Jerome, in this very nice New Yorker article, talks about this view of AI as the AI as creature view. And he says this is the dominant view of AI, that you're creating a being. And there's a lot of issues with it, and actually the article goes into a fair bit of the history about it that's quite interesting. But one of the things that's wrong with it, in my opinion, is it assumes a very atomistic notion of intelligence. So, we have this agent, and we're assigning the individual as the basic unit of analysis, and it's a really reductionist way of looking at the problem. In particular, when we're thinking about socio-technical systems. And I'm gonna go even further, further than I think Jerome would go, and argue that intelligence is actually relational. And this is consistent with the second view that Jerome introduces, which is viewing AI as collaboration. And I think AI as collaboration is actually much more accurate to what is being done now, and it gives us a lot more agency in how we design our systems. So from the KDD endeavor, we want to take into account people and think about human-centric systems. And we want to focus on not so much AI autonomy, but think about how do we maintain human autonomy. And this atomistic notion of intelligence, when you think about ethics, ethics isn't just about individual moral right action. It takes into account social and political systems. So going back to socio-technical systems, I think we can build, and are building, these kind of dystopian socio-technical systems that automate bias, that surveil us, that make us angry and unhappy. Or we can build, positive social systems that support collaboration and support collective action and support democracy. And the most important question is, which will we choose? So we have a choice. We need to make the design decision about what we want to build. And so one way of thinking about this is, how do we enhance this kind of positive collaboration? What are your ideas? In terms of next steps, I think there are some pretty basic next steps. So first off, around education, it's not going to surprise you that I'm going to advocate for, we need mathematical, algorithmic, and importantly, ethical literacy. And we need to grow up as a community. We need to have a serious code of ethics that takes into account the harms that our systems can do. And we need to support policy and legislation which supports privacy, dignity, and equitable distribution of power. I mean, this is a place where the EU is much further along than, for example, the US, but we as technologists need to support all these things. So in closing, again, thank you for the huge honor of speaking here today. I'm going to return to my question at the very beginning, what's the best thing about being a researcher? And The best things are the challenge. We get to think about hard problems. The responsibility, so the responsibility to educate and to make the world a better place. And what I started with, the collaboration, the opportunity to work with and help people. And I hope you can take this spirit of challenge, responsibility, and collaboration into the conference. So, thank you. Here's some acknowledgements.
Thank you, Lisa. This is excellent. I think we have a couple minutes to have, if there's questions from the audience.
Yeah. There's someone running behind you.
Thank you. I have really enjoyed your talk. When you talk about the code of ethics for researchers, how does this agree with the fact that a lot of the research is driven by industry?
Driven by?
By industry. So, yeah.
Actually, and this is an important aspect that many fields are dealing with. When you think of science, technology, and policy, there's a lot of looking at what are the different structures in place. You can think of medicine as an example, but that doesn't mean that, engineers have a code of ethics. You know, you're not supposed to harm people. I think we can say, you know, it's a pretty good idea if we don't harm people. So I don't think it should be a contradiction.
Thanks.
Any other question?
I was trying to finish early so that people could go to drinks.
Okay.
Yes, so thank you for the talk. I have a question.
Yeah, there's another question.
Yes, so I liked very much your conclusive slide, the one that presented a binary choice between two socio-technical systems. And you say we have to choose either the one or the other. The one makes people happy, and the other makes people unhappy. I guess that is a simplification, isn't it? I mean, I guess the real challenge is that the system could make people locally happy, but then globally unhappy, or some people happier than others, and so on.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Admittedly, I'm being a tad flip there. It's a much deeper question. But I think right now, even though it's a simplification, it's actually somewhat accurate currently.
Congratulations, Lisa. KDD has been 30 years late in giving this award to a female.
I don't think they've had the award for 30 years.
But on behalf of everyone here, just a huge round of applause for. So my question, you've been working on graphs for such a long time, and I still remember the first workshop in Washington, D.C. We did on graphs and social networks. If you would change the direction or course of history somewhere around 2010, 2012, what would you have done different to advance graphs more than where we are today? Or do you have any views on something that we missed out on as a community at KDD here that we did not do for graphs?
So thank you, that's a good question. And I guess the thing that comes to mind is in the talk originally, I had a lot more of my mistakes, and one of my mistakes was related to this. And I think not appreciating the impact of what one can do with graphs, and both the positive and the negative impact of what one can do with the kinds of inferences that one can do in graphs, and realizing that earlier.
Thank you. So, Tanya, there's a mic to Tanya, right here. Yeah.
Well, next question should come from all the other side on there, right? Lisa, thank you again for this great talk, and congratulations again. This is a well-deserved and long overdue award, so congratulations. And, you know, I'm going to continue kind of the line of question from the previous one. Now is an opportunity maybe to think, it's an inflection point for AI, and I really, really like your point that you're articulating so well about that it's not about a single agent in isolation. It is about, it's all relational. It's about human-machine partnership and human-human and machine-machine and human-human-human partnership, right? It's about this whole system. So in that system, and at this moment when AI is the answer for everything, how do we think about where we should and should not use AI? Like what, just because we can come up with a better, with a better algorithm, with a better model, is it actually worth it? Is it better in the end than our logistic regression answer or calculations on the back of the envelope? Where is the bang? How do we think about these like real lifts that AI can provide?
Great, well, thank you for the question. And I'm going to answer it slightly differently because there was something that I was considering talking about with this view of AI as collaboration. I just touched on that at the surface level. I think if you go deeper on it, there actually are some really interesting answers in that can help to mitigate and ensure that the systems are positive. And one of them I'm kind of tagging on some of what Jeroen's thinking is we need a way of following the lineage of where the inferences are coming from. And by having those kind of back pointers to say where something's coming from, that's something that is certainly a very hard and challenging graph problem, but it also can mitigate some of the potential harms, and it also, you know, gives the people and things that have created it the appropriate attribution. And so I think that that's a really interesting area, and I do think that kind of doing this mind shift of getting away from some intelligent black box and not questioning it is really, really important right now.
Thank you.
Hi. Well, first, thank you, Lisa, for this talk. It was very insightful. I very much like that you put human in the middle of your considerations for AI. And I would like to rethink that humans are important, but humans are not the only creator that exists in our world. There are more, fortunately, there are much more creators than just humans in our planet. So even if we are able to create systems that work well from a human perspective, both at a local and a global perspective, it doesn't mean that they're going to be responsible with our ecosystem. So my question is, what are the ecological considerations that we should take into account when defining that code of ethics?
Yeah, so I think that is a place where this notion of we need to seriously, as technologists, think about the policy implications and think about what kinds of policy to enact to help support the kinds of things we want from an ecological perspective, from a social perspective, from a political perspective.
And there will be the last question.
Okay, great. First, really happy that you got the award. Extremely well deserved. So one question, maybe a little bit more scientific, right? So, so far we were doing all kinds of data science, AI, data mining, whatever we call this, right? And we always understood how it works and why it works. Now, suddenly we succeeded really, right? And we still know how it works, right? But we don't know why it works so well, right? How you personally deal with this new situation, right?
Yeah, I mean, certainly the ways of having explainable systems and having the explanations grounded in where the information is coming from is the right approach. We're starting to see that, but I think requiring it is important, and supporting authorship and being able to tell, where something is coming from is important. And it's a hard problem, so, yeah.
Yeah, but we know this cannot be done almost in this current setting, right?
I don't think that's a reason to not do it, though.
Thanks.
Okay, let's thank Lisa again. Excellent. So I'm going to invite Francisco and Ricardo back to the stage.
So thank you for coming to the opening. And we are a bit late now because we should have started drinking and eating earlier. So please enjoy Barcelona and enjoy the conference.
Yeah, join us for drinks at the poster reception, which is in the exhibition hall, I think, just behind the registration desk. So, yeah. Okay. That way. See you there.